everyone, good morning and welcome to Market Fatafat. We've got a jam-packed show with all of the top stocks to keep on your radar over the next half hour. But before we get down to business, let's focus in on the management of Titagrah Wagons. They have delivered their numbers and this time it's been a pretty disappointing quarter. A loss of about 100 crores versus a PAT performance of 12 crores last year. They have delivered a revenue which has slumped about 54% on year. Just pull up the stock price as well. Umesh Chowdhry is the VC and MD at Titagrah Wagons, now joins in on the show. Good morning and thank you for taking time out. Now, there has been a drop in your overall performance, particularly for the key wagons and your coaches segment on a year-on-year basis. That really seems to have depressed the overall bottom line picture. Can you elaborate as to what is really led to this?
Sure. Yes, it has been a very difficult quarter or a difficult last year, particularly for our French operations. We had or rather our overseas operations. So if you see that two things I think that are important to be noted in the results. Number one, the losses include a provision that have been made to remove the auditor qualification in our overseas subsidiary for penalties that have been charged for contracts that we inherited during takeover, which is a very large amount constituting this loss. This penalty is still under negotiation, but we did not want a qualified balance sheet, and we have taken that hit on the books by creating the provision. And the result of the negotiations of this penalty would be known in the next few months. And we will then know what exactly is the loss, whether it's the entire amount or not.
That means that this would be just a one-off in this quarter owing to the penalty. And are you saying that come the next quarters, we could see some more stability in your bottom line?
Absolutely. That's what we have also informed in the press briefing. So if we look at the standalone of Titagrah India, we still have an EBITDA of in the year for almost about 21 crores, in spite of having a revenue of only 300 crores. Okay. So this year, with the order book already existing of almost 800 crores, we would definitely be able to do much better on the standalone or the Indian operations. Overseas operations are under stress, but we have taken up some measures to restabilize them, the French one. And we are hoping that the results of that would start showing up this year and they should get back to normalcy by the next year.
Okay, fair enough. So what's your current order book? What are the conversions that you're expecting in the pipeline over the next few months?
In India, we have an order book between Titagrah and our subsidiary Simco of about 1,100 crores. Most of this should get executed in the current year. This apart, there are tenders that have been issued by the railways. In fact, the largest ever wagon tender has been issued by the railways in the history of the Indian Railways for almost 24,000 wagons. This is going to be opened in the next maybe 1 month or 1.5 months. In the last tendering cycle, we had a market share of about 25%. We'll have to see what is our market share in the current one. But that is a sizable business. Then the new policy of opening up the general purpose wagon is showing a lot of traction in terms of private wagon demand. So Indian operations, we see a very healthy momentum going. We launched our first naval ship ahead of schedule last month, or rather earlier this month. So that is another business segment that is coming up. Okay. In Italy and in France, we have participated in very important tenders. We are waiting for the results of those. And I believe we should be able to turn around the cycle as soon as we are able to successfully bag even one tender out of them.
You sound fairly optimistic. What about the kind of growth that we can see for the shipbuilding segment over the next 2 to 3 years?
So in the shipbuilding, we have received 4 ship orders, out of which one has been, as I said, delivered or launched ahead of schedule. The second, and the third and fourth, all the other ships are also running ahead of schedule. We have participated in RFIs and RFPs for various naval and specialized vessels. So we are, the value of the tender that we are participating is very, very large. Now we have to see how much of that is able to convert into contracts. A tender is always a tender. So, but we do see we have received a lot of appreciation from the customer, which is the Indian Navy, and we do hope that we'll be able to get some good contracts going forward.
All right. We wish you all the very best then. Thank you so much for taking time out and joining in, giving us a view as to what exactly is in the pipeline for the company. And you sound fairly optimistic on the kind of, tenders that you put in for the shipbuilding, and clearly owing to the penalty, which is the reason that we saw this kind of a loss in the quarter. The management confident that going forward, there will be more stability. The stock, though, is bearing the brunt of that, down 3% in trade.